I went to USC. I was in a dorm as my home state is about 17 hours from there. Every night would end the same with me finishing classwork or editing videos for a little bit of side money for YouTubers or kids who post to Instagram. Every night I would finish and hop in the shower. It was all the same every night. There was one night though, I will never forget. I was showering and I heard my front door creak open as it always did when it would open to a certain point. I quickly turned off my shower and listened for any sounds. Not a sound. I had my phone on the sink and I decided the best thing to do is call for one of my buddies. I called him and he answered. He sounded very sluggish and he didn't want to go anywhere, but as soon as I told him what I heard, it's almost like you could hear his eyes open over the phone. He set his phone down and got clothes and then returned to the phone and started talking to me. Then I heard a loud crash of what sounded like a piece of metal. This was weird to me as I didn't have very many things in my dorm that were made of metal. My friend asked me what had happened and I told him I had no clue. I heard his front door open over the phone and then he said he'll be right up. I hear loud footsteps coming down the hallway that sounded like a jog. I quickly dried off, threw my clothes on and received a text from my friend. He said, "I'm outside your door, it's wide open and I hear heavy breathing." I replied, "Throw the door open and I'll come out as soon as I hear the door hit." I prepared myself for the door handle to be sure as I told him. I hit the door, hit the wall, and I threw the door open. I see nothing. My friend looks at me and then looks around the room. The room was untouched. We looked around the room and found nothing. With both our eyes still wide open, we walked down his room for the night and decided to sleep there. We wake up the next morning and go check my room one more time. We opened the door as this time my pillows and blankets were thrown across my floor. We pick up the blankets and pillows before noticing that there was scratches on the wall that have never been there before. We got campus security, they checked our room and figured it was just messing with them and saying that we would need to pay for the damages. Luckily my friend and I talked him into believing us and he called some local ghost hunters. Nothing about them was professional and they found no evidence. Me and my friend to this day will never forget what happened in my dorm room 327 on USC. What do you guys think it was? So I had a long senior year of college. I recently graduated and I can't believe I made it through this storm that place was. The classes were pretty easy and didn't challenge me that much. The teachers were hit or miss depending on the material and how much we'd done in class. Some students gave teachers and other students a hard time over the simplest things like not doing homework or being in class disturbing other people while talking in discussions or casual banter. The most challenging part was the social aspects of dealing with students that treated me and everyone like dirt. I was doxxed, harassed, threatened online, nearly involved in a brawl with half of dozens of students pitted against me. Going back to the staff being lackluster, our experience to the max. I was kicked out around like a ball in a game of hot potato. Despite reporting the incidents to the relevant people, no one bothered to take me seriously. I literally wrote a multi-paragraph document about everything that had happened to me, and it fell on my deaf ears. Even with the smallest victory for me, getting a no contact order on the person who doxed me, it was like smoke and mirrors since they violated it twice with no consequences. With all of that happening, I was able to make a few friends, but it was still a challenging year for me. Rumour around the campus out of school was money and needed cash. They sold some campus buildings. The official reason is that the multiple departments could not work remotely and it was sensible to downsize. Either way, I'm glad I'm out of there and I wanted to share it with all of you. So one day I had my friend text me saying that she could currently see me talking to a guy from the other side of the parking lot and trying to get away from him because he had seriously harassed her and might be aiming to do the same thing to me. I acted casual and tried to bring the conversation to a natural close, but the guy wouldn't be quiet and was pretty insistent on accompanying me whenever I was going. I told her I had to use the restroom and then go to class. He waited outside the building I was in for a while before leaving. He was a classmate who simply wanted to talk about our projects at first, but the way he acted triggered some alarm bells. My friend is currently in the process of reporting his behaviour to the professors. Luckily we're in the different majors and I most likely won't have to go to that class with him ever again. So around the end of the second quarter of our freshman year, my roommate and I fell asleep watching Netflix on our Xbox. My roommate woke me up in the middle of the night because the Netflix was going through movies by itself. We looked at both of our controllers, which weren't in our reach at all, and they were both completely off. I thought it was just a glitch, but instead of a steady click noise going through the movies at a constant rate, it was stopping on certain ones, clicking them, and then going back to the menu and doing it all over again to different movies and shows. This was pretty creepy.